Have you ever felt that strange heaviness in your body first thing in the morning, like your energy has been drained overnight? You splash water on your face hoping to feel awake, but instead you catch a glimpse of puffiness under your eyes, maybe a dull ache in your lower back, and you tell yourself it's just age catching up. But what if it's not? What if those quiet signals are your kidneys calling for help, long before the lab results ever show a problem? Every single minute, your kidneys filter more than 100 milliliters of blood. They're your body's silent life support working 24 hours a day to remove waste balance electrolytes and control blood pressure. Yet when these organs start to weaken, they don't scream, they whisper. And most people don't hear the warning until it's almost too late. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and I've spent over 20 years watching patients ignore those whispers until one day their creatinine spiked, their GFR dropped, and they found themselves on the edge of kidney failure. The truth is terrifying. By the time most Americans realize something's wrong, they've already lost up to 90% of their kidney function. But here's the part that gives me hope. Your kidneys are among the most resilient organs in your body. With the right morning habits, you can reverse years of silent damage and restore function naturally without expensive treatments or harsh medications. In this video, I'll reveal 5 simple morning rituals proven by research to lower creatinine and improve GFR in just 12 weeks. They take less than 30 minutes a day, yet they can change everything about how you feel, how you age, and how long your kidneys stay strong. So don't look away, because what you'll hear next might be the wake-up call your kidneys have been waiting for. Let's begin with the first habit, the one I call the morning hydration ritual. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but what happens inside your body after just one glass of water can change everything about how your kidneys perform. Imagine this: you've just opened your eyes after 7 or 8 hours of sleep. For that entire time, your body has been quietly dehydrating. No fluids in, but constant filtration happening. Your kidneys have been running all night without a break, trying to push thick, concentrated blood through millions of microscopic filters. By morning, that tired feeling you blame on poor sleep is often just your kidneys begging for hydration. I remember one of my patients, Margaret, a retired teacher, who came to me with mild swelling around her eyes and rising creatinine levels. She thought she was doing everything right, eating well, cutting salt, taking her meds, but she always skipped her morning water, going straight to coffee instead. Within just 12 weeks of adding one simple step, 16 ounces of room temperature water, right after waking, her creatinine dropped by nearly 0.5 milligram per deciliter. Her energy returned, and that mid-afternoon crash disappeared completely. The science backs it up. A massive systematic review from the University of Wollongong analyzed 68 randomized controlled trials with over 2,000 participants. The results were astonishing. Consistent morning hydration lowered creatinine by an average of 0.43 milligrams per deciliter within 12 weeks. That's not a supplement, not a drug, just water. When you hydrate the moment you wake up, you thin your blood, restore proper flow, and instantly reduce the workload on your kidneys. Think of it like flushing a filter that's been running on sludge all night. Within minutes, your kidneys start producing clearer urine, your circulation improves, and your brain feels sharper because oxygen delivery finally normalizes. But there's one crucial detail: temperature matters. Ice-cold water shocks your digestive tract, forcing blood away from your kidneys to warm the stomach. Hot water, on the other hand, makes your body work to cool it down before it can use it. That's why room temperature water is the secret weapon. It's absorbed immediately. No wasted effort, no delay. It slips straight into your bloodstream, feeding your kidneys what they need most. Try it tomorrow morning. Before you grab your phone, before you sip coffee, drink that 16 ounces of plain water. You'll feel the difference before breakfast is even on the table. And if you've been struggling with fatigue, puffy eyes, or mild back pain, start here. Your kidneys will thank you quietly but powerfully. Now here's what most people don't realize: hydration is just the spark. It wakes your kidneys up, but it doesn't keep them running at their best. To truly get your filtration rate up and your creatinine down, your body needs one more thing: movement. Gentle, strategic movement that sends fresh blood rushing back to your kidneys like morning sunlight breaking through the clouds. But only knowing this isn't enough, because what comes next might surprise you. It's the habit that almost everyone gets completely wrong: The second morning habit might surprise you because it has nothing to do with pills, diets, or machines. It's about movement, slow, mindful, intentional movement that tells your kidneys it's time to wake up. Most people think exercise has to be intense to work, but for your kidneys, the opposite is true. After 8 hours of lying, flat blood flow to your kidneys drops dramatically. They've been resting in a low-gravity state, almost dormant. When you sit up and start your day without moving your spine or stretching your core, those vital organs remain sluggish like an engine idling on low fuel. Gentle motion is the spark that restarts the circulation your kidneys crave. I'll never forget Robert, a 67-year-old man who swore he was too old for exercise. He would wake up stiff, shuffle to the kitchen, and sit down again with his morning coffee. His creatinine levels crept higher every month, even though his diet looked fine. When I asked him to try 10 minutes of gentle yoga each morning, he laughed. But 2 months later, he wasn't laughing, he was glowing. His back pain faded, his blood pressure stabilized, and his lab results showed his GFR climbing back toward normal. The secret wasn't intensity, it was consistency. Science backs Robert's story in a big way. A massive meta-analysis covering 78 studies found that people who incorporated regular light physical activity had an 18% lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease. That's nearly 1 in 5 people saved simply by moving their bodies more. When you perform slow stretches like the cat-cow pose, arching and rounding your spine, in rhythm with your breath, you're not just loosening your back, you're actually massaging your kidneys from the outside, helping blood surge through millions of tiny filters. Another simple move, the seated spinal twist, wrings out stagnant blood from your midsection and replaces it with oxygen-rich flow. Think of it as giving your kidneys a gentle squeeze, refreshing them from the inside out. The beauty of this habit is that it doesn't require a gym, a trainer, or even a change of clothes. 5 to 10 minutes is all it takes. You can do it right next to your bed while your tea steeps or before breakfast cooks. The goal isn't to sweat or burn calories, it's to send a clear signal to your kidneys. You're alive and you're supported. Within minutes, circulation improves, blood pressure gently lowers, and your body shifts from stiffness to strength. You feel lighter, clearer, and surprisingly calm. If you've been sitting too much or you wake up feeling like your body forgot how to move, start here. Because movement is medicine, especially for the organs that work hardest while you sleep. But remember, fueling your kidneys with oxygen and motion is only half the equation. What you feed them next can either speed up healing or undo all your progress. And just knowing this still isn't enough, because the very breakfast most people reach for each morning might be the quietest killer of them all. Now that your kidneys are awake and your blood is flowing, the next 30 minutes can either build healing or undo it completely. And it all depends on what you put on your breakfast plate. Most people don't realize that the first meal of the day can decide how hard your kidneys will have to work for the next 12 hours. The truth is, your kidneys aren't just filters, they're biochemical managers. Every bite you take in the morning sends them a signal, either restore and repair or fight and survive. I once treated a woman named Linda, a 62-year-old retired nurse, who thought her healthy breakfast of whole grain toast fruit juice and flavored yogurt was the perfect start to her day. Her creatinine kept climbing and her energy kept crashing by noon. When we ran her labs, her sodium intake was nearly double the recommended amount and her blood sugar spikes were punishing her kidneys. So we redesigned her morning's egg whites for pure protein, a handful of blueberries for antioxidants, and 1 slice of truly low-sodium, whole-grain bread. Within a month, her labs improved, her swelling faded, and she told me she felt 20 years younger before lunch. The science agrees. A long-term study from the Karolinska Institute followed over 2.7 million people and discovered that those who ate smart, nutrient-balanced breakfasts had 21 to 22% lower odds of developing chronic kidney disease. That's not luck, that's biology. Your kidneys thrive on antioxidants that neutralize the free radicals built up overnight. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries are loaded with anthocyanins, which protect kidney cells from oxidative stress. Egg whites deliver high-quality protein without the phosphorus overload that damages filtration units. Low-potassium fruits like apples, watermelon, and grapes satisfy sweetness without overloading the system. And keeping sodium under 300 milligrams at breakfast alone can drop your daily fluid retention and blood pressure within weeks. But here's where most people go wrong. They underestimate inflammation. Processed cereals, pastries, and so-called healthy protein bars ignite silent inflammation that forces your kidneys to filter out more waste than they can handle. Instead, choose whole, colorful foods. Spinach and avocado provide anti-inflammatory compounds that calm your entire system while nourishing the kidneys. A simple plate, scrambled egg whites with berries, and one slice of low-sodium bread or Greek yogurt with chia seeds becomes more than breakfast. It's therapy. The difference is immediate. You stay full longer, your energy stabilizes, and your kidneys operate in harmony instead of survival mode. And when you pair this meal with the hydration and movement habits you've already learned, you're not just protecting your kidneys, you're rebuilding them. But here's the twist most people never see coming. Even the perfect breakfast can't save your kidneys if your mind stays trapped in constant stress. Because every burst of anxiety or rush of morning panic sends a chemical storm directly into your kidneys' delicate blood vessels. And just knowing this still isn't enough, because the next factor, invisible yet powerful, might be the silent reason your kidney health keeps declining. Stress. It's the invisible toxin that most people ignore, yet it silently destroys kidney health faster than any salty meal or sugary snack. You can drink the right water, stretch your body, eat the perfect breakfast, but if you start your morning in panic mode, your kidneys pay the price. Every rush to check your phone, every racing thought about bills, deadlines, or doctor visits floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Those stress hormones constrict the microscopic vessels inside your kidneys, cutting off blood flow by nearly 30%. Imagine your kidneys trying to filter waste while the very pipes feeding them are being squeezed shut. That's what chronic stress does every single day without you realizing it. I had a patient named Thomas, a 70-year-old retired engineer, who always said, "I'm fine, I just don't relax." He woke up every morning checking emails, worrying about his investments, and skipping breakfast altogether. His blood pressure stayed stubbornly high, even with medication, and his GFR was slowly falling. When I taught him the diaphragmatic breathing technique, the same one I'll share with you right now, everything began to shift. He started each day sitting upright, one hand on his chest, one on his belly, breathing in through his nose for 4 counts, holding for 4, and exhaling slowly for 6. Within 6 weeks, his blood pressure dropped, his creatinine stabilized, and for the first time in years, he told me, "I feel calm before the storm even starts." This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. Studies from Stanford and Harvard have shown that just 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing each morning can regulate the vagus nerve, the control center of your nervous system. When activated, it flips your body from fight or flight into rest and repair. Blood vessels relax, heart rate steadies, and kidney perfusion improves naturally. In other words, by controlling your breath, you control the blood flow that keeps your kidneys alive. The best part, you can do it anywhere. In bed before you rise, sitting at the table, even in your car before you start the engine. The moment your belly expands on a slow inhale, your kidneys receive a signal that says you're safe. That signal alone can change the chemistry of your morning. Stress will always be there. The goal isn't to eliminate it, but to master it before it masters you. If you've ever felt that heaviness in your back when you're anxious, or that pounding pulse when you're overwhelmed, that's your body's way of begging for this reset. Try it tomorrow morning, and within days you'll feel the shift: calmer mind, steadier energy, clearer urine, and better focus. But even when your breath steadies and your heart calms, there's one more danger hiding in plain sight, a daily habit so common that almost every American starts their morning with it, not realizing it's quietly draining the very organs that keep them alive. And just knowing this still isn't enough, because the next factor, the one inside your coffee cup, might be the most underestimated kidney killer of them all. The 5th morning habit might shock you because it's about something you've probably done every day for years, reaching for your cup of coffee the moment you wake up. For millions of Americans, caffeine feels like fuel for the brain, but for your kidneys, it's more like fire. When your body is still in its early morning recovery phase, your kidneys are trying to rehydrate, filter waste, and balance electrolytes after a full night's work. Pouring caffeine on top of that process is like stepping on the gas when the engine hasn't even warmed up yet. Caffeine acts as a diuretic, forcing your kidneys to pull water out of your system before they're ready. That dehydration thickens your blood, spikes your blood pressure, and makes filtration harder, all within the first 30 minutes of your day. I once had a patient named Carolyn, a 65-year-old librarian who loved her morning coffee. She told me, "Dr. Hale, I can't function without it." But when her creatinine started creeping up, we looked closer. She was drinking 3 cups before noon and wondering why her legs felt heavy and her energy crashed by afternoon. We replaced her first cup with nettle tea, a natural kidney supporter, and let her keep just 1 small cup of coffee later in the morning after breakfast. Within 6 weeks, her labs improved, her swelling reduced, and she confessed, "I didn't realize caffeine was making me tired." That's the paradox. Caffeine feels like energy, but it's borrowed energy taken at the expense of your kidney stability. Research confirms this. Multiple studies show that excessive caffeine intake increases urinary calcium loss, raises cortisol, and even spikes blood pressure temporarily. Those sudden surges strain the fragile vessels inside your kidneys, the very ones responsible for filtering waste. That's why replacing your early morning coffee with herbal teas can be a game changer. Nettle tea, for instance, contains compounds that reduce inflammation and support kidney function naturally. Dandelion root tea works as a gentle detoxifier, helping flush out waste without forcing dehydration. Both options offer warmth and comfort, the same ritual you love, but with healing instead of harm. Start gradually. This week, swap just 1 cup of coffee for herbal tea. Next week, try 2. If you still want caffeine, have it mid-morning after you've hydrated and eaten. That simple timing change can protect your kidneys from unnecessary strain while still letting you enjoy what you love. You'll notice steadier energy, better focus, and less afternoon fatigue because your body's no longer fighting the caffeine roller coaster. And here's something most people never think about. Every sip of what you drink is a message to your kidneys. It's either saying heal or hurt. Choosing clean, gentle beverages each morning isn't about deprivation. It's about giving your kidneys a break from decades of overwork. But even this final habit is just the beginning of something bigger. Because when you combine these 5 rituals, hydration, movement, mindful breakfast, calm, breathing, and caffeine control, your mornings stop being routine and start becoming therapy. Yet even knowing all this still isn't enough, because the real transformation begins when you learn how to turn these habits into a daily system, one that heals not just your kidneys, but your entire body from the inside out. You've just learned 5 simple morning habits that can protect your kidneys, lower creatinine, and restore your energy. But what matters most is what you do tomorrow morning. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, consistent actions, repeated day after day. Even if you start with just one of these habits, drinking that glass of room temperature water, stretching for 5 minutes, or replacing your first coffee with herbal tea, you're already taking control of your health in a way most people never do. Your kidneys have carried you through every season of your life, filtering thousands of gallons of blood, working tirelessly without thanks. Now it's your turn to return the favor. I want you to remember, this progress is better than perfection. If you miss a day, don't quit. Just start again the next morning. Every sip of clean water, every deep breath, every calm moment of awareness adds up. These aren't just habits, they're your body's language for healing. And if you've watched this far, it means you care deeply about your future health, and that already puts you miles ahead. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Save this video so you can come back to it anytime you need a reminder or motivation. Share it with someone you care about who might be struggling with kidney issues, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss the latest science-backed health tips to keep your kidneys strong and your body thriving. Your kidneys have never stopped working for you, even when you didn't know how to protect them. But now you do. Start tomorrow morning, take that first step, and give your body the chance to heal. Because the best medicine doesn't always come from a bottle, it starts with you.